option was this, 50%, and if the members are willing to be, cannot accept 50%, let's consider 40%. Those are the minutes, and that was the position. So please understand here, members, that it is not as if this billboard income is just being handed out to them. There are reasons as to why this negotiation should happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Okay, I think Mr. Shen, you want to...
Yeah, just a quick one. I think what you said, when I said is crucial what's going on here. If there is a tendency, there must be some revenue attached. This was not informed to us. I am hearing 40% today. This was not given to us. Why are you proposing 50% when there was an option for 40%? All this information must be given to people. I told you right from the beginning, Mr. President, I am for this. I want the case to go. Without the case, we are walking on thin ice. Thank you.
Sam, yeah, Tunggu, yeah, Tunggu, former president, yeah.
Tunggu Shamsul Baris, S050. Thank you very much. So, I think as far as this issue is concerned, it's like a Trojan saga, as old as the Palestinian case, and between the Arabs and the Jews. For 60 years plus, we have grappled with this issue, and they are still talking about it for different reasons, for different purposes. For a long time, we were quite safe because the Deputy Prime Minister was the President, the Government Secretary was the President, until small fellows like us took over. And they resented that. And for a long time also, the land was in the name or under the name of the Federal Land Commissioner until 2014. 2014 was the time when the sub-lease, the land was leased from the government to the PPGS for the first time. And there were reasons for that. And the reasons were not very nice. The main reason why the land was transferred from the government to the PPGS in 2014 was because there were some interested parties who were interested in this land. In actual fact, the government or part of the government has already approved the release of your new laws there to some groups to take over. And unfortunately, this was wanted because we went and appealed to the then Prime Minister, Najib Razak, and he graciously reverted or reversed the decision made earlier by the government or by the PPGS to take over that land. That is crucial because there are always people who are interested in this land because they said there is no income at all that the government gets from us. So that's why in the 2014 to the 2018, we had a lot of discussions on the matter, and Cabinet said, okay, I think it was the last act of the Minister of Sports, Kali Jamaluddin, said, we will give you this, but then there are some groups who say that 5,000 that we were paying at that time was too small. And I think we agreed that was too small. For 330 acres, we paid $5,000 a month. I think that was a joke. But we agreed. We agreed we'll increase it to 20,000 a month, which was, I think, still reasonable. So it was back at 20,000 a month. Then we had an option. Then we gave them a few members, 300 members, which may or may not be filled. And then the cabinet said, you must also have a management agreement. And that's what we're talking about, the small details besides the gist. After that, the government fell. That was in 2018. And there was a standstill because even the government at that time was unsure. For 2 years, we did not make any move at all because we were ourselves uncertain what their response would be. 2 years after the Mahathir's government fell, a new Prime Minister came. We also refused to contact the government because we were still unsure. Because the Prime Minister at that time was also involved in the acquisition of the land of that course. So we said we better stay quietly and stay and move on as we went along. Then a new minister was appointed. And 3 years ago, I think the President correct me if I'm wrong, when the new chairman of PPGS came in, and he came like the conquistador who said that this is my land and this is what I want. And in a servile fashion, our politicians said, okay, we'll give you your office, we will do your car park, we will give you distinguished membership, and so on and so forth. We went on like that. And they also asked for lots of other things. Then, last committee, we negotiated the matter and came to this. You asked me whether this is a perfect agreement. I said, no, it cannot be a perfect agreement because there's no such thing. You asked me again whether this is a good agreement. I think it is a good agreement for 2 reasons. First, we would have an agreement that is legal, that is binding for at least 30 years. Those 30 years, I think, will protect the interests of all the new members that have been coming in for the last 10 to 12 years. And if we don't do this, then their position will always be under duress. I think it is our duty to this day, on this day, to protect those interests for at least 30 years. And hopefully, the new younger members can negotiate for the option for us to exercise. If you say that the 10% that they ask every year, every 5 years increase, is big, on the basis of 20,000, I don't think so. Because at the end of it, at the end of 20 years, we'll be only paid 360,000 a year, which is 30,000 a month. If each of us pay $5 a month for 10 months, we will cover that. So I think it's a cheap thing. Whether this is the worst agreement, I think it can be worse depending on who are on the other side. The other side is as unstable as we are. We change every 2 years, they change every 4 years, but it can be faster than that, as has been threatened many times. But for the sake of the information of the members, at one stage of this agreement, last year, 2 years ago, they wanted their name to be posted out. They said, this is the property of the government. They wanted their names to be here. I think the previous president was very firm and said, no, we don't do that. And there are lots of cases where government property has been leased, but they don't put their name there. We fear that because the moment they put their name there, they say, this is government property. Your bar must close, this must close, that must close. I think the previous committee did very well. And as far as the 50-50 is concerned, as Mr. Wilfred said, they want to justify that we can get some revenue from them. I think 50-50 if we have got any income. That's 50-50. If you've got zero income, there's nothing to give. The 50-50 doesn't matter. If we increase, we get. But one important thing as far as these items are concerned, I said, give them the 50-50. If we don't like it, we don't lease it out. We don't have to say that. The little thing of my concern will be the school boys from national schools. And that I'm a bit afraid, because national schools is what? The whole of the schools in Petaling Jaya, Selangor or what? And what are the numbers? But I appeal to the management meeting to say that we will allow it, but the numbers and the conditions shall be determined as well. There was one item that which is quite valid. He talks about the dissolution of BPGS. I think it's good that BPGS should be dissolved because it is a pharmaceutical organization. But that is not your job, that is not our job. That's the government's job. Our job is to look after the members. And I think on those terms, I would propose formally that the terms that you have agreed with the PPGS is accepted today. As far as the solution of PPGS, I suggest that if we are interested, we take it as a people's protest to the government. That is a separate issue. And after all, the Prime Minister, 2 weeks ago, they mentioned something and they referred the salary scales and said, all irrelevant organizations, institutions shall be relooked. This is your opportunity, Mr. Pereira, to raise this as a matter against the government to say that we have an irrelevant organization called PPGS. Please resolve it, then we solve our problem as well. I can have you on that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And we are thankful to our former president for what you got some background about the Kgns. And also we will take note of your comments on the students that come here. Yeah, sir.
Di Kanagaraja membership number K484. I'm glad Tunku Shamsul have summarized most of the key points. Basically, there are two important components here. One is the lease, which we have already given on the platter. We are going to get a lease for 30 years. We must accept it. This thing has been, like what Mr. Wilfred and most of them have been explaining, this thing has gone too long. So generally, the agreement and the terms of conditions are well presented and acceptable. And in 2014, before 2014, as been explained, the lease payment was only 5,000, and subsequently it was 20,000 until today. At that point of time, the management committee gave the president a ceiling of $500,000 to go and negotiate, but it was kept at a lower level. So basically, as what Mr. Wilfred have said, and most of the members, should support this agreement and move forward. It's very important. Thank you.
Fellow members, ladies and gentlemen, I think about enough. I think if there are no other questions, you shall welcome. Thank you. Since there is no further questions, can I have a proposal and seconder to the ordinary resolution number 1? Yes.
Can I propose that we accept the
Propose, thank you, Mr. Louis.